Nityananda. My name is Kripanidhi Nitya, and I am a member of the Nityananda Sangha, and my guru is Sri Nityananda Swami, the avatar of super consciousness. And the Nityananda Sangha is one of the very cool things they've been doing is they have brought back the science of completion, the science of enlightenment, as well as manifesting of special powers from the Veda Agamic tradition of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is how I became an Adinavasi. If you're looking at me, this is the attire of an Adinavasi of Nityananda Sangha. We are here at the Birdi Ashram, the main ashram where Swamiji resides most of his time, except when he's traveling. And this is rather recent. I have been an Adinavasi for about 2 months, and this is after about 9 years of knowing Swami Nityananda. So what I want to share in this video is talk a little bit about what happened that caused me to decide to become an Adinavasi, which essentially means that you're committing to live with Swamiji, as well as you know, your energies are directed towards supporting his vision and mission. And technically, you actually, when you become an Adinavasi, Swamiji initiates you into that role. So to talk a little bit about the background, the history of my relationship with Swamiji, I met Swamiji in May of 2009. I had never really heard about him. He was traveling through the United States talking on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. I had seen a flyer a couple of months prior to that, and I showed up on May 8th, 2009 in an auditorium in Milpitas in the South Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area. And there was a huge crowd. In fact, the main auditorium was full, and in fact, because they were full, I actually had to sit in an overflow room where we could just watch him on TV, even though he was really next door. So one of the main things I have to share about that first day is Swamiji's presence was really electric. I felt instinctively drawn to him, his energy, his appearance, what he was communicating, his message. I had never had this kind of experience with other spiritual masters before. I learned that Swamiji was going to be there for about 5 days, and I kept coming back every single day. On the third or the fourth day, I learned about programs that Swamiji was conducting, Birdi, a 3-month program, a 21-day program, and I decided that I would be attending one of these programs. So 2 weeks later, I had my visa, and I showed up in Birdi for a 3-month program at the ashram, and that was the beginning of my relationship with Swami Nityananda as I know it now. So obviously I've been in touch with Swamiji for many years, from 2009 to 2017. And my relationship with Swamiji and with the Sangha has had its ebbs and flows. Sometimes the work's been really intense and I have not been able to devote that much time, and other times I'm more focused, more connected, and just able to spend more time connected to what the Sangha and Swamiji are doing. I've done over the course of these 9 years, I've visited Birdi off and on. I've come for various programs, so I've kind of, been connected through the last 9 years, connected with the new things Swamiji's introduced. It's been beautiful. Swamiji's been an amazing innovator. He has brought back so much that's in the Sanatana Hindu Dharma tradition, and in that process enriched us directly as well as other people in the world. Now, how the Adinavasi opportunity opened up is extremely recent. So it was March of this year, and 2017, and I received an email inviting me to apply to participate in the Nityananda Yogam program. The Nityananda Yogam program is a 3-month program. It's a residential program at the ashram. For the entire 3 months, you spend a lot of time with Swamiji, you work in close proximity to him, and you basically work on whatever project you've taken up, and Swamiji keeps an extremely close interaction with the entire group. it's considered to be a somewhat exclusive program for more advanced devotees, and I really wasn't very optimistic of being invited for that, but I went ahead and applied anyways. About 4 or 5 days later, I received the invitation to the program. I received the invitation on the 2nd of April, and the start date was April 5th. Now, if you think about it, I had not anticipated the invitation. My entire schedule, my work and my life schedule in the San Francisco Bay Area was completely booked up. And for the next hour or so, I was wondering if this was really possible. But it just, at some point, it just clicked in. Not only was this going to be possible, it was going to be a reality. And I just spent the next few hours canceling every single commitment that I had. And I ended up booking my air ticket for the 5th of April. I was in Birdie by the 7th, and in the Nityananda Yogam program. So one of the things that's, every Nityananda program is different, and what was different about this program was literally within a few days of arriving in Birdie, people were talking about the Adinavasi program. Swamiji, for the very first time in the history of the Sangha, was planning to issue an open invitation to anybody who wanted to come and live with him and connect with his mission, and spend their time for the foreseeable future here with him. And I found that kind of exciting, but not necessarily very compelling. The reason was, all these 9 years that I've been connected, although I've loved Swamiji and that love's continued to grow, I never seriously entertained the idea of ever moving to Birdie and living there. My whole sort of vision was I would continue doing what I was doing, my thing, my work, my life, and I would come and meet Swamiji for a spiritual program. It could be an inner awakening, it could be some other program or a celebration like Swamiji's birthday. But committing to live in Birdie was something that I never seriously entertained. So what was different this time? What happened was that for the very first time, Swamiji was openly inviting people who wanted to live with him in the ashram. Prior to that, there was no standard program. You had to figure it out. You had to request, and for some people it was easy, for some people it was difficult. But this time they were actually going to have a 21-day orientation that would start at the 14th of May. And the biggest draw for me was the ease with which I was doing the morning spiritual routine at the ashram. So the morning spiritual routine is something very special at the Adinam here. This is a routine that's recommended for followers of Swamiji all over the world. It starts at 4 a.m. in the morning, doing yoga during Brahma Muhurta, followed by an hour of doing the cleansing techniques, the Panchakriyas, and then followed by puja again at 6 a.m. and then followed by satsang at 8 a.m. So it's a 5-hour spiritual routine. You start your day with this, and only when this is done, you move on to doing everything else that you need to do. In the San Francisco Bay Area, on a good day, I would do my yoga definitely. I was a committed yoga instructor, but if I had a really good day, then maybe I would do puja also that day. But essentially, living in the world outside made it really challenging for me to even approach the spiritual routine the way Swamiji had designed it. In contrast, when I was in the ashram, I may have had some challenges initially, but essentially the 5-hour spiritual routine just kind of flowed. I would be there for yoga at 4, doing the puja at 6, and then doing the satsang at 8. So there were a couple of key encounters that allowed me to make this jump. I love the spiritual routine. Although I was able to make that leap, the next thing was I was still not finding that one thing that made it clear why I would become an Adinavasi. And one day in conversation with one of the people who was visiting the ashram, she explained to me about the thrill seekers, people who do adventure sports, and what they're looking for is that high they get when they say jump out of a plane, and because it focuses their concentration tremendously, and they are in a state which is completely present, and that experience, that rush is what they're craving for. And I realized that really what the spiritual process is about, getting to a certain kind of place where you feel a certain oneness with Sadashiva, with the Guru, and with all of the cosmos. And yes, so that once I had that clarity, I realized, yes, I was going to do it. The clincher was a 2-day program I was doing with Swamiji, and Swamiji said, only people in the know, people who know what the Adivasi program is, understand what a great opportunity it is. Once Swamiji said that sealed it for me. I decided I would become an Adinavasi. I started the process of completing with my mother and some other people, and there you have it. I decided to be an Adinavasi. I came for the program that started May 14th, and I got initiated when 21 days later when the program ended. So there you have it. That was my story. Nityananda.